Independent new media, new economy company in Southeast Michigan that's doing pretty well. So, and what we write about are other small independent new economy companies doing well, and also the we really do try to capture a sense of place. That's very key to what we write about. My favorite criticism of Model D, and I spend a lot of time on the internet, so, and I hear a lot of it, is that, and I like to read criticisms, because I guess I'm weird that way, but is that, and I have part of the language here, but that we blow a lot of sunshine out of our asses when we talk about Detroit. Our mission, though, is not to be cheerleaders. I tried out for cheerleading in middle school. It was a miserable failure. I can't do a cartwheel. I don't have pom-poms. It's not going to happen. So, but really, what we're really trying to do is create a tone that is critically optimistic. Basically, we know Detroit has warts, but we also know there's compound W out there, and just go to the drugstore and pick it up. But no, there are solutions, and we want to talk about solutions and ideas and ways to improve our city, and also to talk about the things that are good, because there really is a lot of good here. We often overlook the good. My favorite Model D stories are the ones where people have a reaction that I had no idea that was in Detroit. For instance, Detroit has an amazingly huge poetry, literary art scene that probably a lot of people don't know about. We have 3 creperies in the city. You can rent a bike and buy a bike in Detroit. City biking is enormous right now. There's just a lot that's going on here that really flies under the radar. And here's another one, kayaking the Detroit River. I'm putting in a plug. We're hosting a kayak tour with Riverside Kayak, which is based in Wyandotte, of the Detroit River in June. There'll be details on our website. But there's a lot. This is a very rich, vibrant area. We have problems, but there are a lot of really great things here. And really, writing about those things is one of the best parts of Model D, and being part of it. But one of the things that we are obsessed with is this session's topic, which is how to attract and retrain the middle class. And we really do focus a lot of our attention on that creative class, young, restless group. And I think I don't want to underplay the importance of other groups in the middle class, because they're extremely important to, and other classes in the city are very important to have in the city. But really, this group, we know through Lou's work and other research is key to revitalizing and creating a vibrant city. And we think that this, not only are we obsessed with answering that question, how do we create this environment, but we also really think that the kinds of stories we write are also part of the solution. So I'll get into that a little bit in a second, but I have a video first. Can somebody help me pull the video? Yeah, all right, that's it right there. Is it weird attacking the volume? And that's my fault. I think I pulled up the volume. Oh, I had the volume switch, and they told me I had that. Oh, can you hear it? Okay. You guys hear? To me, I know that video is not perfect. In some ways, I love what Andy says, but it's not the most diverse picture of Midtown, but it's a 3-minute video, so, and it doesn't get into all the neighborhood's challenges, and it's not a perfect neighborhood, but there's a lot of truth in there. I think in that 3 minutes, you get a picture of a place that, pretty much, if somebody says it's what, 20-year-old kid who watches Gossip Girl and MTV would not want to live in a place where there's shopping, nightlife, bars, museums, you can walk out your front door, there's people, like you want to hang out with are right there. That's really what kids want. That's what they see on TV. That's the kind of neighborhood they're after. That's why probably most of everybody in here who has a Facebook page has a percentage of their friends that live in Chicago right now, because that's what they see as Chicago offering. So, and Midtown really is the closest thing, I think, that Detroit has to offer, Detroit proper has to offer those kids. Andy Lynn, who was in the video, and his sister Emily opened a shop in Midtown called City Bird, and I'm going to talk about Andy a little bit more. He is a Michigan grad. He is a Wayne State graduate student. You know, he is kind of, to me, he represents the cool kid I wish I was. Probably blushing because he's here now, but you know, if I see that he's doing something on Facebook, it's very likely that's something I wish I had a babysitter to go do. So he's one of the tastemakers, you know, the group of kids who are out there doing the cool things in the city. And he grew up in Detroit. This is the kind of person that Detroit needs to keep in Detroit, and what these are the kind of people that we need to keep here. When I think about what Detroit needs, you know, it reminds me of a scene from Seinfeld where Jerry is eating a giant ice cream sundae in first class, and Elaine is back in coach, like all crunched up, and the flight attendant comes up and says, "Sir, you know, do you need more anything?" And Jerry says, "I need more everything." And really, I think that's what Detroit needs. We need more everything. You know? If we're going to stop being the coach class of cities, we really need to build the cool things that the kids want. We need to and then I think almost as importantly, we need to get out the story that we have a lot of those things already. We have a lot of the first class amenities, and we just need lots more of them. And you know, a little bit about Midtown. I mean, here's Midtown on one of Midtown's busiest nights at the MoCAD. If you haven't been there, it's definitely worth checking out. I mean, if you want to know where the cool Detroiters are, see what's going on at Midtown on the weekend. So. But you know, one of the things, why do we care about these cool kids, and Lou covered it far better probably than I ever could, is because in cities and in metro areas, you can look at the numbers, they show that when you have college-educated kids, when you have 25 to 30-year-olds and concentrated in your midtown, or concentrated in your urban core, those are the cities that are growing the fastest, with the biggest numbers in economic development. This is from the CEOs for Cities Young and the Restless report, and the data here is based on 10-year-old census data, and I bet you a gazillion dollars that it's going to be more intense next time around. And if you look at the cities on the top, Seattle, Denver, Portland, San Francisco, Chicago, check your Facebook pages again. You probably have people from Michigan who are in those areas now in your Facebook, among your friends. In economic development circles, it's also becoming clear that companies want to be in the cities where these young and talented kids live. So really, a sense of place matters. And we talk about it in Model D a lot, you know, we're talking about what stories we're putting out there. We want to capture a sense of place, a sense of Detroit. And that really matters because what's changed now is that, you know, if the personal reason, if you don't plan on having kids or grandkids, doesn't really matter to you, the economics should matter to you. It used to be that companies would locate in a city and people would move to that city to work for the company. But really now, that whole thing has changed. What's happened is that we're in a world where companies want to move where they can find talented people to work for them, because people can go anywhere. So they want to be where people want to be. A lot of you are lawyers or in law firms, or will be one day lawyers running law firms, and ask local law firms how easy is it to attract new associates to Detroit. Ask the top firms in the city how hard it is to get people to summer intern them from the top tier schools. When they're competing with Chicago, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., ask local CEOs and local firms at national companies, even federal government agencies, what it's like to recruit talented people in Detroit. And for too many people, Detroit is the short straw. If you're getting assigned to Detroit, you've lost out. Those of us that live here know that's not true, because if we don't like it here, why are we here? You know, we can go anywhere. So we have a lot to offer, but unfortunately that's how we're perceived. And for too many people, young people, the idea of staying in Detroit is just not an option they consider. They don't.